What would happen if you lived one day in ancient Egypt? Imagine stepping back into a time when the majestic pyramids silently watched over an empire that thrived on the banks of the Nile. It's easy to romanticize the grandeur of pharaohs and their opulent tombs, the hieroglyphs whispering tales of their reigns. But every dazzling historical scene has its shadows, blurred by the harsh realities that shape the everyday lives of those who were far from royalty. In this journey, we're peeling back the glossy facade to uncover a world tethered not just by golden adornments, but by grit and sheer tenacity. The tales whispered through time echo a story of survival in an unforgiving land where the relentless sun was both a giver of life and a perilous foe. As we explore this sun-drenched civilization, we'll ask, could you survive a day amidst its complexities? Before we dig deeper, if you're intrigued by history's hidden layers, like this video, subscribe, and let me know where you're watching from in the comments below. Your ancient journey is about to begin. Awakening in ancient Egypt meant trading the soft embrace of modern mattresses for the earth's rug. You find yourself in a humble reed hut, the dawn's light unapologetically filtering through. There's no luxury of linen curtains or the hum of an air conditioner, just the vast desert whispering in the breeze. The scorching sun makes its presence known from the moment you rise. Morning routines were primal acts of adaptation. With no modern sunscreen to shield them, ancient Egyptians relied on the earth's raw materials, lathering mud or dung onto their skin as armor against the sun's burning kiss. This gritty routine was as vital as life itself. Water, the Nile's gift and curse, invites you for the morning ritual bath in its sacred yet chaotic embrace. Here, bathhouses are unknown luxuries. The river, teeming with life, both supports and threatens. It's not just the current you must watch, but the treacherous creatures lurking beneath its surface. Cleanliness was an endeavor powered by sand, a gift from the vast desert, rubbing your skin raw but giving little respite from lingering dirt and pests. As the sun climbs higher, hunger sets in, calling for breakfast, a sparse offering of gritty bread and a mug of chunky beer. The meal is a testament to survival itself, each bite a reminder of Egypt's reliance on nourishment amid scarcity. Work awaits beneath the relentless Egyptian sun, offering no regard for comfort or respite. Unlike modern jobs with ergonomic chairs and air-conditioned rooms, labor in ancient Egypt demanded unyielding physical strength and tenacity. As a farmer, you find yourself tasked with wielding primitive tools, tending to fields of barley and emmer wheat. Every swing, every planted seed, is a calculated move against time and naturi. The burning sun and the Nile's floods, both vital adversaries and reluctant allies in your quest to cultivate enough for sustenance. Or perhaps your day leads you to the construction site of a grand monument, one of the many eternal testaments to the glory of the pharaoh. Surrounded by the hum of chisels and the groans of workers bending under massive stones, you are part of an immense human effort. Each pull of the rope, coated with sand to increase grip, exacts a toll on your body. Sweat runs rivers down your sun-darkened skin, each drop a silent barter for the pharaoh's enduring legacy. Speaking of the pharaoh, this ruler is no ordinary sovereign but a living deity. Questioning his authority is an unfathomable breach. Loyalty is a sacred duty woven into the fabric of society. His image imposed in colossal statues, his divine status is uncontested, shaping not just the politics but the very spirituality of the land. Around the nation reverberate prayers and offerings, a skyward plea for his protection and prosperity, a celestial endorsement that supposedly flows from the gods themselves. Meanwhile, sand is your constant companion. It finds its way into everything in the seams of your clothing, in the corners of your reed hut, and even tangled within your food. When the desert winds rise, sandstorms sweep the landscape, turning the world into a swirling chaos. The grainy texture in your mouth is a familiar discomfort, a reminder that nature remains a force to be respected and endured. Amidst this, the spiritual fabric of Egypt offers little solace. Every action you partake in seems shadowed by divine expectation. Rituals are not just routine, they are a necessary part of securing balance and favor in your precarious world. Deities of all forms oversee life, motivating offerings and prayers not just for yourself, but for the collective soul of the civilization. As the sun begins its descent, dusk promises a fragile peace. Yet, as the night approaches, life in ancient Egypt doesn't retreat entirely into rest. Instead, it offers a different, almost mystical rhythm. The embrace of night cools the day's earlier fervour, but the air is still thick with the essence of burning oil lamps and the muted whispers of insects that replace the buzz of the day's labour. It's a time for the heart to remember its connections to the gods, family, and community. The elements of daily life are steeped in the rich aroma of sustenance and survival. Dinner is a communal act sitting with family, but again it's a sparse affair, usually of lentils, some fish if you're fortunate, or fowl for those with a little extra prosperity. Spices are cherished treasures, added sparingly to whatever fare you've managed to procure. The highlight of a meal might be the coming together itself, each conversation a testament to resilience in the face of a day's unyielding demands. Above you, the stars blaze with a clarity unfathomable in the modern age, serving as both navigation and a tapestry of tales. These twinkling lights are not just ornamental, but hold myths and prophecies, shaping destinies, and guiding the living through the uncertainties of earthly existence. Despite the simplicity, life is anything but monotone. Medical practices in this time are a fascinating convergence of the physical and the mystical. Should you fall ill, the remedy involves not only herbs and salves derived from the bounty of the Nile, but whispers of incantations, the invocation of gods who ward off death's grasp. Healers stand as the mediators between the seen and unseen worlds, wielding knowledge entwined with mystical beliefs, aiming to mend both body and spirit. As a woman, you may find yourself managing the household with a keen understanding of resourcefulness, balancing the edge between subservience and silent strength. Intriguingly, ancient Egyptian society offers you more rights than many later civilizations would, allowing some autonomy in marriage, property, and legal standings. Your daily life is a relentless dance of endurance, but occasionally, among the nobility or wealthy, there are havens of leisure and influencia, taste of luxuries shaped by the sands of circumstance and fortune. Just as the cool night brings reflection, it also brings contemplation of another day. The constant grind crosses paths with an insatiable curiosity and wonder about the afterlife and obsession etched into the Egyptian consciousness. Yet something is stirring in the depths of the Nighton undercurrent of both mystery and possibility. As the stars paint an eternal celestial narrative across the ebony sky, the landscape holds its breath as if awaiting some unscripted turn of fate. You, too, are caught in this moment, balancing your understanding of life's harsh inevitabilities with the flicker of the unknown what tomorrow might bring in this ancient world so brimming with secrets. Life in ancient Egypt isn't just about earthly struggles. It's entwined with an inherent pursuit of spirituality that shapes each breath and step. As the sun dips beyond the horizon, shadows lengthen across the sacred temples, the beating heart of Egyptian worship. Within these hallowed halls, priests and priestesses conduct rites that seem to stir the very air, aligning mortal existence with cosmic order. They are the custodians of tradition, intermediaries who channel the god's will, their chants woven like spells into the nighttime air, a desperate plea for harmony between man, nature, and divine realms. Understanding the pharaoh's role further deepens your grasp of societal dynamics. This ruler, seen as a god in human form, is the axis around which the cosmos spins. His leadership dictates not only the political and economic prosperity, but the spiritual equilibrium of Egypt itself. To serve the pharaoh, directly or indirectly, is to uphold the world's balancia, heavy burden that each citizen bears, whether in silent obedience or enthusiastic reverence. In this tapestry of existence, health is a prized but fragile asset. As hope organically mingles with fear, you find solace in the assurance that the community stands together against illness and misfortune. Villagers and townsfolk alike whisper stories of miraculous recoveries and dreaded infirmities, with each tale offering valuable lessons and collective wisdom. Keepers of medical knowledge weave intricate patterns of practical remedies and magical rituals, hoping to tip the cosmic scales in favor of well-being. Amid these reveries lies the ever-persistent presence of sand, that great equalizer in daily life. It touches everything and everyone, a relentless reminder of Egypt's harsh environment, Staying one step ahead of the creeping dunes is an eternal struggle, and every grain feels like a time frame slipping through fingers' countless moments, building the weight of eternity. At the break of dawn, the horizon slowly releases its tight grip on the night, unveiling a world steeped in the ochre hues of the morning. As light trickles across the land, it silently breathes life back into the streets of ancient Egypt. With the morning comes the call to labor intense, unyielding, and as critical as the very air you breathe. Each day is a test of endurance as you, along with countless others, rise to meet the demands of the day. In the heart of the burgeoning city, the marketplace stirs with energy. It's a symphony of bartering voices and the rhythmic shuffle of feet across hardened earth. This hub of activity is the lifeline of the community, where farmers, craftsmen, and traders converge. Yet, among the colourful chaos lurks the reality of economic disparity. For most, the fruits of labour are scant rewards for hours under the unforgiving sun. What abundance exists sparsely trickles down to the masses, held firmly in the hands of wealthier entities or reserved for ceremonial offerings to the gods. Yet within the arduous daily grind, unexpected pockets of tranquility offer solace. Within the shadow of towering temples, you find artisans meticulously crafting offerings exquisite jars, sculptures, and textiles not merely meant for functional use but as acts of veneration. It's a labour of love as much as necessity, where skill and dedication transform earthly materials into sacred tribute. The societal hierarchy finds its reflection in the labour scene as you witness. The toil of workers, under the direct supervision of scribes and overseers, contributes to monumental projects that would stand eternal pyramids and temples crafted from stone, dragged across miles of desert. These Herculean tasks are not just physical feats, but symbolic creations meant to link the temporal with the eternal, echoing the unyielding desire for order amidst chaos. As midday approaches, the relentless heat renews its grip, becoming a palpable force in this grand tapestry of life and labour. It mingles with the subdued hum of people taking respite in the shade, sipping their midday portions of water, or catching a rare moment of reprieve, the shadow of a grand statue honouring the gods looms, casting cool protection as it watches silently over the efforts below. Yet, beneath this surface of rhythmic daily toil, tales of magical invocations permeate conversations. Stories of the pharaoh weave themselves into the daily lives of the people, a narrative thread, gilded with divine authority and mystical power. To defy the pharaoh is to defy the gods themselves, an act as unthinkable as attempting to rearrange the stars. This isn't merely political power, it's a spiritual contract binding the land in a web of celestial and earthly rules, with the pharaoh at its centre, reigning as both king and god. Yet despite this, whispers sometimes ripple during the quiet pause of dusk or murmured discussions between trusted friends. The significance of the pharaoh extends beyond human comprehension. As a living deity, he is thought to be the bridge between the mortals and the divine. His presence dictates even the sky's temperament and the Nile's bountiful floods, ensuring prosperity or ushering in ruin. It is costly blind faith and meticulous orchestration with the cosmos, yet it's interwoven with the consciousness of every Egyptian. To look upon the pharaoh is to look upon the face of divinity itself, a privilege few attain during their lifetime. But within the grandeur of this divine rulership lies the ever-shifting sands of power. Behind the nobility's carved facades and the eloquent hieroglyphs singing eternal praises, courtiers and scribes wield their influence. They are the unseen architects of the ruler's celestial destiny, pulling the strings of politics and ensuring that the majestic order is maintained. The subtle machinations form a web within the empire, each movement a potential harbinger of change. The desert's winds carry stories more inexorable than the grains of sand beneath one's feet. These tales legends with layers of mirth or mischief are shared in low tones in the sacred shrines or bustling markets. Among them is the tale of Amunet. Her story, while cloaked in shadow and sunlit whispers, hints at the fragility and resilience of an empire sprawling under the might of divine destiny and mortal ambition. As you weave through this labyrinth of hierarchy and piety, the realization of tomorrow's unpredictability looms a testament to the delicate balance between fate and effort. Yet with the setting sun comes renewed hope, perhaps a discovery, a minor twist of fate that can alter the customary course. Such is life in ancient Egypt, where one day can ebb into another seamlessly, revealing secrets shimmering like a hidden oasis on the horizon. In the relentless canvas of ancient Egypt, where sun and shadow vie for dominance, the omnipresence of sand is both a companion and a foe. It infiltrates the minutiae of everyday life, an incessant whisper on the breeze that marks each step you take. Sand sticks to your skin, finds its way into your food, and weaves itself into the fabric of your existentian elemental reminder of the land's resilience and your own. Throughout your daily routine, sand is a constant force. It clings to your bare feet as you navigate the thorny undergrowth alongside the Nile. It crunches between your teeth as you partake in the coarse bread and beer central to your diet. But more than a nuisance, sand is a tool. Ancient Egyptians ingeniously use it to carve, shape, and polish the stones that build their eternal monuments. Yet, as rudimentary as life might seem with such primitive resources, the challenges posed by sandstorms remind you of nature's unyielding might. With the onset of Kamsinth, dreaded sand-laden Winsan, impenetrable shroud descends over cities and fields alike. The world becomes a muted haze, and survival instincts sharpen as you seek shelter. Doors rattle against reed walls, and you clutch at your wind-buffeted garments, praying to the gods for reprieve. When the sandstorm recedes, the landscape is transformed as if a pharaoh's decree has rewritten the earth itself. This transitory chaos, however, is an opportunity in disguise. The pharaoh's overseers gather their teams, and labourers emerge to conduct surveys of affected lands. During these times, stories arise of hidden treasures uncovered by the shifting sands, fabled relics of the past that offer glimpses into forgotten splendours. In these subtle calamities, there's a hint of the divinia reminder of the gods weaving their intentions through the elements. It's a test, you come to believe, of your resolve and ingenuity. The morning following, a storm carries a peculiar energy, an anticipation buzzing beneath the surface like a persistent desert fly. You wonder what the gods have unearthed this time, whispering secrets through the grains that define your world. As you continue to navigate life's unpredictability alongside your fellow Egyptians, you sense an enigmatic promise in the air, something gesturing toward change or discovery. Gazing into the heart of ancient Egypt's spiritual labyrinth, one quickly realizes how the rhythm of life is intricately laced with religious devotion. This is a land where gods and mortals share a complex dialogue, each day teeming with silent reverence for the unseen forces that govern the universe. Rituals are woven into the fabric of daily life, as mundane as drawing water from the Nile, or as sacred as the intricately choreographed ceremonies performed by priests in the cool, incense-filled temples. Every god and goddess holds sway over specific aspects of existence, and the Egyptians' lives are perpetual bargaining acts, an eternal transaction for protection, prosperity, and favour. A statue of Osiris presides over the harvest, while Ra commands the sun's blazing journey across the sky, his presence felt in the warmth on the cheeks and the twilight shadows stretching at dusk. Each dawn welcomes a brief yet earnest moment of gratitude for the sun's return, for prosperity depends on these divine cycles. As you move through the bustling marketplaces or laborious guilds, you witness devotions paid at every turn, offerings of fragrant perfumes, precious oils, and carefully chosen foods are laid at the feet of divine statuettes. The faint echoes of prayers and hymns hum beneath the chorus of daily activities, a constant soundscape reminding you of the omnipresent divine attention. Death, too, is another intricate thread in this tapestry of religious life. The afterlife is not merely an end, but a continuation, a promised eternity for which the living must prepare meticulously. Funerary practices dominate both thought and effort, weaving a complex journey through the duat, the realm of the dead, where myriad spirits and deities govern one's passage to eternity. Artisans labour painstakingly to carve hieroglyphic texts on tomb walls, spiritual roadmaps designed to aid the deceased, ensuring their safe journey to stand before Osiris, the judge of the dead. Amulets and charms, each etched with protective spells, are nestled alongside mummy wrappings, hidden like whispers within linen folds. Yet, amidst this deeply spiritual existence, mystery clings to these practices, as dense and elusive as the Nile's fog at sunrise. Whispers of undiscovered tombs persisted in chambers said to hold secrets and treasures waiting for the daring or desperate. These stories ignite the imagination and promise transformations, an eternal chase after the unknown. In the vibrant tableau of ancient Egypt, where life ebbs and flows to the rhythm of the Nile, health and medicine form a unique blend of practical knowledge and mystical conjecture. When illness strikes, it is as much a spiritual dilemma as it is a physical one. Egyptians see the human body not just as flesh and bone, but as a vessel for Kathi vital essence. Therefore, healing requires appeasing both the corporeal and the divine. Doctors, often referred to as swan, are well-respected figures, versed in an array of treatments that combine herbal remedies with invocatory chants. Their expertise comes from texts like the renowned Eber's Papyrus, a compendium of medical knowledge brimming with prescriptions for common ailments and diseases. Yet, for every tangible ailment is a hidden curse, attributed to the anger of deities or malevolent spirits inhabiting the body's inner sanctum. Remedies thus blend the tangible with the ethereal, oftentimes involving elaborate rituals meant to cleanse the soul alongside the body. Picture yourself seeking aid for a persistent ailment. You'd witness a swan grounding a potion from dried and pulverized lotus flowers, honey, and animal fats, each ingredient chosen for its believed symbiotic potency. While these compounds aim to heal, the doctor might also utter spells to seal the remedy's power, beckoning gods of healing such as Thoth or Sekhmet for intervention. The swan's dual role of physician-priest underscores the seamless intertwining of daily life with the supernatural. Surgery is both feared and revered, an echo of divine craftsmanship. Sharp flints and bronze tools are precursors to the precision instruments of modern times. Procedures, although daunting, demonstrate astonishing ingenuity. Trepanation and setting of bones reveal an understanding of anatomy beyond mystical explanations alone. And yet, each operation carries a weight of ritual, a bridge between the seen and the unseen. The average person, however, often turns to domestic remedies, drawing on the rich pharmacopoeia of the Nile's bounty. Garlic, for its myriad uses, is a household staple. Its pungency believed to fortify the body and repel unwanted spirits alike. But when all else fails, when both herb and prayer are found wanting, an Egyptian understands that their fate may be inscribed in the stars, known only to the gods who weave destinies as tapestries across the cosmos. The sun lurks on the horizon, casting its lingering glow over the dusty streets of ancient Egypt. As daylight melts into evening, another rhythm emerges, one that reveals intriguing layers of society, often hidden under the glaring sun. This is the world where gender relations play out, a domain where women, contrary to the assumptions of many, enjoy rights that would surprise those envisioning the typical constraints seen in other ancient civilizations. In this land where the divine and mortal intermingle, women wield a subtle yet significant power. They can own property, initiate marriages and divorces, and engage in business. Hieroglyphs etched on temple walls and papyrus scrolls tell tales of women like Hatshepsut, the formidable queen who donned the pharaoh's crown, ruling as mightily as any king before her. Yet, for most women, life trails between the delicate balance of empowerment and the burdens of daily toil. Imagine walking through an Egyptian household, where a woman oversees the weaving of linens and the brewing of beer. Her hands craft the necessities of life, ensuring the family thrives in this harsh environment. This work is vital, yet it underscores the duality of her existence empowered, yet bound by expectation. Much like the scalding sun beating relentlessly down on the desert, societal pressures remain inescapable. Out in the fields, the mujaji, or workers, toil under the guidance of women who manage estate lands. These women may not bear the crown or wield a scepter, but their influence is palpable within the realms they govern. And as the murmur of the Nile serenades the evening, one might overhear tales spun by canal-side gatherings, stories of wealthier women, patrons of the arts and education, nurturing the seeds of knowledge under their own roofs. In the distance, the shadows of the pyramids stand as sentinels, bearing witness to countless lives interwoven across the tapestry of history. The presence of women among their creators speaks not only of survival, but of resilience and reverence. For here in Egypt, life's labour is equitably shared, its narratives inscribed with the strokes of both genders. As the evening wears on, the Nile whispers its ancient secrets under a canopy of stars. You can't help but ponder, could these selected rites, glimpses of autonomy, provide the women of Egypt with a pathway to elevated status, not just within this land, but in the annals of history itself? As the stars flicker into existence against the vast Egyptian night, their shimmering presence reflects upon the tranquil waters of the Nile. In this moment, the confluence of the celestial and the terrestrial becomes palpable, drawing ancient Egyptians into a world of mysticism and cosmic wonder. The celestial bodies are more than just distant lights. They are divine harbingers, thought to be the souls of gods and ancestors watching over the living from their cosmic vantage. The dwellers of ancient Egypt often look to the skies, guided by the immutable cycles of the stars and planets. Astrologer priests chart these heavenly movements, their interpretations weaving fate and fortune into the fabric of daily life. Celestial events are viewed as divine communications, with comets and eclipses heralding omens that can alter the destiny of a pharaoh or foretell the outcome of harvests. Astrology, in this way, blurs the line between science and religion, encapsulating the Egyptians' quest for understanding their place in the universe. Picture the horizon as an astronomical clock, where priests gather atop temple rooftops, tracing the constellations' pathways. Here, amid the starry expanse, they perform night ceremonies, invoking deities like Nut, the goddess who arches protectively across the sky, her star-filled body bridging the divide between earth and heavens. These rituals are not mere gestures. They are intercessions meant to balance order with chaos, to ensure Ma'ate's principle of harmony prevails. As you stroll along the riverbank, the nocturnal ambience contrasts sharply with the day's bustle. The haunting melody of an oud lingers in the air, blending with the rhythmic croaks of frogs, creating a soundtrack for contemplation. Nearby, a family offers up a small sacrifice at a modest household altar, seeking the graces of Osiris, the god of the afterlife, for protection in the night's embrace. Such reverence for the celestial stems partly from a deeper understanding of the world, beyond a belief in an afterlife where the soul's journey continues amidst the stars. The pyramid texts inscribed in royal tombs serve as spiritual roadmaps for the deceased, ensuring they navigate safely through the netherworld to join the celestial falcon's wings in eternal ascent. With the dawn of a new day emerging on the horizon, casting golden streams across the rippling sands of Egypt, we're invited to ponder a deeper connection with this ancient civilization. Connection that transcends time, weaving threads of human experience into the fabric of our modern lives. What wisdom might we draw from living a day in the life of ancient Egyptians? And how does it echo in the corridors of contemporary society? As dawn breaks, the village stirs with the comforting hum of daily life revving into gear. Farmers make their way back to the fields. Women weave and stain fabrics in vibrant hues. Artisans create intricate pottery and carvings in workshops humming with creativity. Their calloused hands, worn by relentless labour, yet continually creating splendour, urge us to reflect on our work ethic today. Despite their lack of modern conveniences, ancient Egyptians mastered resilience. Finding balance amid simplicity, a lesson modern society could echo in its pursuit of contentment amidst abundance. Consider the echoes of their communal living, the kinship amongst families, the tightly knit villages working together, sharing laughter and burdens alike. In today's digital era, where many face the irony of feeling alone in a crowd, we might draw inspiration from a culture that embraced close relationships, fostering meaningful bonds that transcended the spectre of solitude. Venturing into the heart of the marketplace, the rhythm of barter and banter pervades the air. It's a nexus of social interaction, where news is exchanged and life's essentials are procured. The marketplace, a microcosm of community and commerce, reminds us of the interconnectedness of individuals, echoing a timeless truth about the value of community and collaboration. As we contemplate their reverence for the divine, the spiritual symphony in which they orchestrated their lives, can we find parallels in our pursuit of purpose? To an ancient Egyptian, Life was a chapter in a continuum and endless loop of rebirth and renewal. Today, amidst our often hectic pace, there lies an opportunity to embrace this timeless view, finding peace in the cycles of nature and embracing our role in the larger tapestry of existence. As the sun reaches its zenith, the questions linger, carried aloft by the whispers of the desert breeze. What can we glean from their profound connection to the land, their enduring love for the stars? As the sun climbs higher into the azure sky, casting its unrelenting heat upon the land, ancient Egypt continues to unveil its intricate tapestry. It's midday, a time when shadows shrink and the bustling life in the villages and cities takes on a slower pace, adapting to the sun's scorching embrace. The fertile lands along the Nile are quiet, save for the rustle of barley fields in the warm breeze and the occasional call of farmers pausing for a respite before resuming their toil. In this ancient world, the pause at midday is as much a necessity as it is a tradition. It is a moment to retreat into the cooling embrace of shade, whether cast by the sturdy walls of mud brick homes or the gentle leaf canopies of date palms. Here, life moves at a rhythm dictated not by clocks, but by the natural cycles of sun and shadow. Communities gather under makeshift awnings, sharing sparse yet nourishing meals laden with onions, figs and dates, punctuated by laughter that transcends time. It's a brief respite, a communal affair that bridges social divides, and a reminder of the profound ingenuity with which these ancient people managed to carve out an existence in an unforgiving climate. In every bite of food and sip of freshly brewed beer, there's a testament to agricultural innovation in harmonious flow with the rhythms of the Nile. This part of the day hints at an Egypt, not frozen in grandeur, but vibrant in its day-to-day resilience. As makeshift markets brim with merchants displaying linen, papyrus scrolls, and precious trinkets, the air is ripe with a sense of persistence that defies the oppressive sun. The hawkers, with their enticing calls and skilled bargaining, breathe life into the stone avenues, weaving a vibrant tapestry of human survival and ingenuity. Yet, amidst these midday scenes, a veiled anticipation hangs in the air, the waiting hush, before the breathless tales of legend and lore unfold. The looming afternoon signals the time for stories spun under the sprawling embrace of aged sycamores, where scribes and storytellers gather the community to hear tales of gods walking amongst men and the mysteries of the afterlife. It's in these gatherings that the cloudy boundary between history and myth blurs, crafting a rich oral tradition that would transcribe the history of an empire. In the fluid dance of duty and leisure, the shadows lengthen. A whisper, barely noticeable, threads through the vibrant chaos, a hint of gathering winds from the desert. The afternoon sun begins its slow descent towards the horizon, bathing the Egyptian landscape in a golden hue that imbues the world with a brief moment of serene beauty amidst the daily grind. A gentle breeze carries with it the scent of the Nile and the faint echo of distant chattering families returning to their homes, their day's labours leaving them weary yet satisfied. As the villagers congregate again beneath the familiar canopy of the sycamore, the air pulses with anticipation. Children sit cross-legged, their eyes wide with wonder, while the elders stand back, nodding approvingly at the ancient storytelling tradition that carries the whispers of their ancestors into the present. Today's tale drifts seamlessly between the mortal world and the ethereal domain of the gods. Speaking of Osiris and his journey through the afterlife, of the trials faced at the scales of justice, where the heart of the deceased was weighed against the feather of Ma'at. The tale speaks not just to their belief system, but underscores the unyielding quest for moral order, a theme that echoes within the fabric of daily existence under pharaonic rule. As words of the storyteller weave vivid images, life seems to pause you as if the very stars have halted their dance across the heavens, holding their collective breath. The tale serves as a gentle reminder of the fragility of life and the resonance of legacy, etching wisdom into the hearts of the listeners clustered beneath the tree's sprawling embrace. It's a slice of eternity captured in an afternoon, a moment shared that bridges generations through common narrative. Yet, this tranquil exchange is not without interruption. As the tale reaches its pivotal moment of divine judgment, a wave of murmurs spreads through the crowd. There, on the periphery, a lone figure stands, silhouetted against the dying light, clutching something tightly wrapped in linen. Whispers speculate about a message from a distant land, perhaps a discovery unearthed by the shifting sands, or a glimpse of something yet unknown. The elders' faces tighten with curiosity and concern, eyes trained on the newcomer who remains unmoving, an anomaly amidst the continuity of everyday life. Perhaps the figure brings news that will alter the course of their existence, or, conversely, affirm the enduring stability they have come to cherish. As the sun's golden descent gives way to twilight, the anticipation among the villagers is palpable. The lone figure, still clutching the linen-wrapped package, moves toward the sycamore with deliberate steps. The murmurs of the crowd subside into a tense silence, broken only by the gentle rustling of leaves and the creak of the ancient tree swaying gently in the desert breeze. The figure, a young man named Kenamun, is a familiar face to Soma scribe from a nearby city whose presence in the village often heralds news beyond their modest borders. With a nod of respect to the elders and a warm smile to the children gathered at his feet, he carefully places the bundle on the ground. The crowd leans in with curiosity, eyes wide, minds abuzz with fascination, and whispers of excitement. Slowly, Kenamun unfolds the linen to reveal a collection of peculiar artifacts gleaming in the dim light. Among them, a small statue of Bastet, the cat goddess, and a fragment of a papyrus scroll adorned with intricate hieroglyphs. The crowd lets out a collective gasp, a ripple of awe at the sacred omens that lay before them. With a commanding yet gentle voice, Kenamun begins to speak. "These treasures," he says, "are gifts not only of material worth, but of story-histories that speak of lands beyond the reach of our sun, where the river's flow knows no bounds." His words, woven with the cadence of an experienced storyteller, captivate his audience, drawing them into realms uncharted and into the embrace of the ancient tales that have survived the currents of time. As the villagers listen, their imaginations navigate bridges between worlds, embracing the myths of powerful deities and the prospect of adventures yet to be undertaken. The artifacts provide tangible connections to those larger-than-life stories of gods and pharaohs intertwined with their own human struggles. Kenamun continues to weave a tapestry of adventure, lore, and possibility, a reminder of the vastness that lies both within and beyond their beloved Nile. As the sky deepens into a tapestry of twinkling stars, and the desert's chill casts its gentle embrace, the evening feels pregnant with mystery and promise. The villagers gather closer, urged by a collective curiosity what worlds lie hidden beneath the sands, waiting to reveal themselves. Yet, as Kenamun pauses in his telling, the whisper of a gathering desert wind heralds another, even more unexpected truth. The crowd huddles in an arc beneath the sycamore, eyes transfixed on Kenamun's newly revealed artifacts. The night deepens, and the desert air cools, casting an indigo blanket over the gathering. The young scribe's voice becomes a thread that binds them together, spinning tales of distant lands and the adventures of gods and heroes who roamed the earth before their time. "They say that Bastet," Kenamun intones, gesturing to the sleek feline statuette at his feet, "watches over her people with the eyes of the moon. She offers protection and brings both joy and mystery. The feline goddess is a bridge from our world to the divine, guiding those who are pure of heart." The villagers drink, in his words, their faces lit by a combination of reverence and the faint glimmer of the statue reflecting starlight. The elders, ever prudent, nod in solemn approval, their minds wandering through stories of guardianship and divine intervention from the past. Kenamun gently unrolls the fragment of papyrus, the soft rustle echoing like whispers through the crowd. "This script," he explains, "holds a secret recipe for a potion used by high priests. A blend of herbs, it is said to grant visions of the gods themselves, a glimpse into their wisdom and their world." Gasps of wonder ripple through the assemblage. Even the children, whose attention often wavers, sit enraptured by the promise of ancient secrets encoded in the delicate hieroglyphs. The notion of touching the divine, of witnessing that which lay beyond the veil of mortal understanding, casts a spell over them all. Yet, beneath this veil of enchantment, an undercurrent of unease trembles. What could this knowledge mean? To wield such power is to tread a line as thin as a papyrus leaf, teetering between revelation and peril. The elders exchange quick glances, silently pondering whether the mysteries of the scroll were delivered to reveal futures untold, or instead were meant by divine will to steer them away from unseen dangers. As Kennemun rolls up the papyrus and meets their gazes, a sudden gust of wind sweeps through the clearing. The leaves above them rustle, and a faint sounder melody seems to emerge from the desert itself, a haunting tune that drifts like smoke across the sands. "Listen," murmurs an elder, pointing to the horizon. "Perhaps the winds carry the message of the gods, or of something else." The villagers fall silent, ears attuned to the distant call. What truths will the desert's breath reveal? The villagers, entranced by the unexpected melody that weaves through the night air, hold their breath. It is as if the horizon itself has lips, whispering secrets from the edge of time. Underneath the sycamore, Kennemun stands still, the rich fabric of his tunic gently swaying, mirroring the ancient rhythms of the desert song. Intrigued and unsettled, every heart beats in unison with the invisible drum that seems to echo from the horizon. Could it be the voice of the gods? A voice ventures from the crowd, breaking the fragile, enthralling spell of silence. The question hangs heavily, like the cool desert mist beginning to settle upon them. The notion flutters a tremor of both excitement and apprehension through the assembly, drawing them deeper into the realm of possibility and myth. Kennemun, attuned to the quivering emotions of the gathered souls, raises a hand toward the stars. "The gods have many ways of speaking to us," he proclaims, his voice resonating with both wisdom and wonder. "And often, their messages come when we are least prepared, urging us to listen with our whole being." The crowd nods, absorbing his words like parched earth eagerly drinks the rare rains. As they stand poised on the brink of revelation, the elders huddle a few paces away, their whispers layered with layers of wisdom accumulated from years spent listening to the land and sky. "This signal, whatever its origins," murmurs an elder, "cannot be ignored. We must seek its meaning, be it a warning or a blessing from the immortal heights." The wind shifts, carrying with it a sense of renewal, a challenge to cling not just to survival, but to understanding. The villagers feel each a prompt to consider their place within the unfolding narrative of existence, a narrative not bound by the illusion of separateness or the simplicity of everyday toil. As the moon begins its languid ascent, bathing the earth in a gentle silvery glow, the villagers huddle closer, whispers mingling with the wind's song. Kennemun steps forward, a leader drawn reluctantly into a role perhaps divinely ordained. He kneels beside the statuette of Bastet, placing his palm flat against the cool earth, seeking connection with the source of the melody that has so captivated them. "In the days to come we must gather," Kennemun announces with renewed determination. The villagers are caught in a moment charged with destiny as Kennemun's determination crystallizes under the moonlit sky. Silence grips the gathering, except for the nocturnal serenade of the desert that continues to unspool mysterious notes into the warm night. Each member of the assembly, from wide-eyed children to the most venerable elders, senses the hushed prelude to a journey that transcends mere survival. Beneath the sycamore's protective limbs, a sense of purpose saturates the air. It's as if the soil itself quivers with anticipation, urging them toward an understanding beyond their present grasp. Kennemun, feeling this unspoken compulsion, turns to meet the eyes of his fellow villagers, binding their fates to this sacred quest. They nod mutely, a silent pact forming in the spaces between looks that speak louder than any words could. The gods may have placed us here, tonight, for a reason beyond what we can yet see, Kennemun says, his voice a soothing balm against the uncertainty flowing through the crowd. The elders, anchoring ancient wisdom with their presence, nod in agreement, ushering their unspoken approval into the gentle night. "At dawn, we shall seek counsel," announces an elder, his voice a low rumble that vibrates with the strength of the Nile, carving its eternal path through the land. Perhaps in the House of Life, the Temple of Knowledge will offer guidance through the sacred scripts and guardian statues that have seen centuries of human endeavor unfold. The suggestion brings a ripple of interest among the villagers of pilgrimage to the House of Life, a repository of the entire wealth of human learning and divine mystery. Hushed conversations reinvigorate the nighttime stillness as people speculate on what hidden insights the sacred temple may unveil for them. Kenneman smiles, feeling the energy shift, a communal current pulling them collectively toward their shared destiny. Under the magnanimous gaze of Bastet, he knows they must follow where the melody of the gods guides them, into the unknown but not alone a journey ordained and watched over by forces beyond their understanding. As the moon's glow softens the landscape into a dreamscape of shadows and silver, a gentle breeze curls around them, a delicate promise of what the night still conceals. Somewhere beyond the edge of darkness, the whispers beckon, tugging at the veil between the known and the mystical. The night slips away with a languid murmur, its secrets cradled beneath the vast canopy of stars as the villagers retreat to their homes, brimming with anticipation for the morrow. As the first light of dawn sifts through the tenuous veil of darkness, Kenneman rises from his troubled sleep, his mind still echoing the ethereal notes that had infused the previous evening with an otherworldly resonance. Awakening with the weight of expectation settling upon his sun-darkened shoulders, Kenneman steps outside of his modest dwelling. The air, still cool with morning's tender promise, vibrates with the murmurs of countless grains of sand shifting beneath his sandals. Around him, the village stirs to life, the lowing of cattle, the rustle of palm fronds swaying in the breeze, and the distant laughter of children unbound from nighttime dreams. As the villagers gather, the sun stretches its golden fingers above the horizon, painting the Nile in hues of fiery opal and muted jade. Together, they prepare for the pilgrimage to the House of Life, a journey that looms large in their hearts and minds. The temple awaits them, steeped in the quiet power of ancient wisdom, a sentinel on the cusp of the desert. Their path meanders through the swaying fields of wheat, past colossal statues that whisper tales of pharaohs long forgotten, and alongside the majestic river that twists like a living hieroglyph inscribed into the earth. Each footfall draws them closer to the sacred haven of knowledge, their spirits buoyed by communal purpose and an unspoken sense of belonging. Kenneman leads the way, his steps guided by something deeper than mere dutia calling whispered by winds that know no limits, by stars that witness eternity, and by gods who weave the tapestry of fate. As they walk, the villagers speak in hushed tones of the messages they seek, the fears they hold, and the hopes they cherish. The House of Life rises before them, a monumental edifice built from stone, quarried by ancestors whose lives engraved the silent yet indelible passage of time. It stands as a marvel of human foresight and divine inspiration, its pillars draped in the dim light that filters through the thick coils of incense smoke. Crossing the threshold, the villagers can almost hear the whispered echoes of wisdom seeping from the walls, knowledge preserved in meticulously crafted scripts and sculptures that stand mute yet observant. Here, amidst the sacred and the profound, perhaps they will find the answers or guidance they seek. As the villagers stand awestruck before the ancient halls of the House of Life, a sense of reverence permeates the air, weaving an intricate tapestry of expectation and solemnity. This is a sanctum where time bends, relinquishing its grip to permit fleeting glimpses into the invisible threads that tie past, present, and future into a coherent narrative. Kenneman gazes upward, momentarily succumbing to the dizzying majesty of the temple's towering columns, which seem to tether the heavens to earth. The stone floor is cool beneath their feet, a stark contrast to the warm embrace of the shifting sands outside. Flickering torches cast dancing shadows that animate the intricate carvings adorning the walls, urging the villagers to step deeper into the mystical realm of enlightenment. Consciously aware of the weight of ancestral hopes etched into every glyph, Kenneman feels the magnitude of their quest swelling in his chest. Elders lead the group past shelves laden with papyrus scrolls, each one a repository of collective knowledge, waiting to unveil secrets to those worthy of their unraveling. They pause before a statue of Thoth, scribe's protector and god of wisdom, whose stony gaze seems to peer into the recesses of their hearts, assessing their sincerity and resolve. "We seek your guidance, O Thoth, guardian of knowledge," intones the chief elder, her voice barely more than a whisper yet resonant in the sacred silence. "May you grace us with the insights needed to navigate our path through the sands of uncertainty." For a moment, nothing stirs within the hallowed chamber, save for the faint echo of the plea. Kenneman closes his eyes, hoping to sense some stir of divine intervention, some ripple that might affirm their pursuits. The villagers wait with bated breath, a unity of hearts beating in sync with the pulse of the universe. Then, from the depths of the temple's shadowed expanse, a scribe emerges, an elder of the order whose time-anointed features hail from an age untold. His presence coerces the air into a reverent silence, one charged with promises of revelations yet to unfold. In his hands he bears a scroll infused with the delicate scent of aged wisdom, its brittle texture belying the potency of its contents. Within these lines, the scribe declares, he truths both known and obscured, threads of wisdom woven by hands both ancient and divine. The villagers lean closer, as if drawn into an invisible circle woven by the scribe's hushed authority. Kenneman finds his breath catching in the hollow of his throat, an anticipatory tightening as the elder unfurls the scroll with deliberate reverence, allowing its worn surface to catch the flickering lamplight. Words, inked by hands long returned to dust, shimmer like whispers from ancestors whose breath still lingers in the spaces between knowledge and mystery. These histories, the scribe begins, his voice a dusky cadence that evokes the rhythm of the Nile itself, hold the imprints of our past, a tapestry to be read not merely with the eyes, but with the heart. Here, amidst these teachings of Thoth, lie the keys to unlocking the cycle of stars, the secrets that govern the inundation and the harvest, the very art of living harmoniously under the gaze of the gods. Each villager, tethered by their dreams and fears, feels the weight of the moment settle upon the rare chance to understand the cosmos design through lenses polished by time and faith. Kennemun's mind ripples with images of long-lost worlds and forgotten tongues, visions that resonate with the eternal quest for meaning amidst the sand-choked landscapes of human existence. But as the scribe reads on, recounting the sacred geometries and celestial harmonies, a single line stirs Kenneman from his rapt contemplation. And in so living, we must remember, the sun's descent brings darkness swiftly, and within that shadow lurks the unknown. His thoughts flicker briefly to his village, and the myriad signs he cinnamons not yet untangled from the threads of understanding. There's an undercurrent here, something beyond the teachings, beyond the mere reflection of stars in the night sky. The scribe pauses, raising his eyes to meet Kennemun's, and for a moment the lines between them blur, bridging elder wisdom with youthful pursuit. Tonight, the scribe murmurs, the moon shall cast a different lighter sign, perhaps for one with eyes unclouded by time's passage. With this enigmatic decree, the elder retreats into silence, allowing the words to breathe within the hushed anticipation of those gathered. Kennemun senses the unspoken challenge, the urgent whisper urging him to unearth the seeds of knowledge that await in the whispers of the looming dusk. Outside, the sun begins its choreographed descent, slipping beneath the horizon in a cascade of liquid gold. The ambient warmth of the temple ebbs as shadows stretch their fingers across the stone floor, weaving an intricate dance that mimics the cosmic ballet unfolding beyond the sanctuary's walls. Kennemun emerges with the villagers into the waning light, their hearts still buoyant with the weight and promise of the elder scribe's revelations. The twilight envelopes them, a veil of cool indigo punctuated by the whispering wind that carries tales from ancient times. The elders whisper among themselves, carrying the scroll with reverence as Kenneman lingers near the temple's entrance, his thoughts entangled in the enigmatic message imparted by the scribe. The question of the moon's different light gnaws at him, a riddle wrapped in celestial intent. As the day yields fully to night, the village readies itself for the unknown promise of a moonlit sign. Families gather within their reed huts, simple structures that offer little shelter from the elements, but provide a sanctuary of community and kinship. Children's laughter mingles with the evening's sounds, an enduring reminder of life's continuity amid history's great unfolding. Kenneman steps away from the communal hearths and roams to the Nile's bank, its surface reflecting the first shy glimmers of the ascending moon. His mind wanders the corridors of possibility, seeking meaning in the elders' words' dimensions of thought, extending beyond the mere vestiges of civilization's rudimentary understanding. As the moon ascends higher, its silhouette adorns the rippling waters with a peculiar luminescence, casting arcs of silver light that dance in fluid symphony. The elders join him by the river's edge, their expressions a tapestry of contemplation and wonder. From their vantage point, the celestial events overhead coalesce into a narrative that transcends the superficial interpretation of cosmic routine. The moon speaks to those who listen. One elder intones beside Kenneman, his voice resonant with years of watching the celestial sphere's turns. Kenneman's gaze ascends to the orb, now brilliantly cast in an ethereal glow. The world of material concerns dissolves momentarily, overtaken by the recognition of being part of something far greater than himself, participant in the eternal dialogue between sky and earth, past and future. And then it happens. The moon's radiance alters subtly, an unmistakable shift that speaks not of shadow but of something deeper, a kaleidoscope of ancient forces inching into alignment.